so things get a little bit out of hand.
My name is Tommy, and if you've encountered 3D printing before, you may have seen that the build size can vary quite a lot depending on the machine. There's three sizes that I think are the most common. That is the 180mm as found on the A1 Minis, 220mm as found on the Ender 3s, and 256mm, which is most common on machines like the X1 and P1 series from Bamboo Lab. Inside this box, however, contains a machine that can print over 14 times the volume achievable on the A1 Mini, and is easily the largest 3D printer I've ever had. Inside this box is the Elegoo Neptune 4 Max. Right, let's get this thing unboxed. An important disclaimer, the machine and filament were sponsored by their respective companies, and this video does have an ad read between these two time points. Please take this into consideration. You know what? Let's temporarily get everything on the main table. Now, I knew that this box would be bigger than the table, but yeah, that is something. All right, let's grab the first big piece and check that out. Wow. All right, this part here is the tool head. Whoa. Manuals and auxiliary cooling. Oh, I love the look of this. Under this foam is the base. This is a Ender-sized bed for comparison. This is a 4-on-0 bed. Wow, that is mental. All right, should be easy enough to lift out. Oh, everything's coming with it. I'm going to rudely interrupt the auto assembly to just say this thing looks absolutely bonkers. Look how huge it is. We got the huge build plate, we got the tall gantry. But yeah, to compensate, wow, not bad at all. There is one last thing we need to do. And there we go. Now let's get properly started with this journey. Before we do our pre-flight checklist, which includes auto-leveling this giant plate, we need to talk about filament. And as you can see, some of my spools are a little worse for wear. This is where I've had some help from Anycubic. Elegoo did send over a couple kilos of filament, but that would only be enough for one of the giant prints that I have planned. Anycubic sent over 14 kilos of filament, which is essentially the total I've ever used in 6 years, which is a lot. So yeah, I'm pretty stoked about that. I know exactly which color our first print is gonna be, and it is gonna be out of this high-speed PLA. Let's go for it. Now, let's choose a couple colors and chuck them in the dryer so that we can get the best possible print quality. Let's open up this shiny gold and this pink gold and see which one would look better. Thanks to Anycubic's huge library of colors available and filament types, I've chosen a bunch of different colors that will perfectly suit this project. Some of these colors I've never even tried with 3D printing before, which I'm very excited about. Alrighty, pink gold it is. And since I know what I want to print after the giant benchy, Elegoo yellow is going to be more than fine for that. A cardboard spool, that's nice. While that's drying, let's fire up the machine for the first time. All right, here we go. The light just turned on. That was pretty bright. Oh, hey, welcome. First up, we have a nice responsive display, a silent mode. Now this is interesting because I want to print overnight, of course, with these super large prints. So having these modes, very useful. I'm so used to my machines not having, well, that does have one. Not having, wait, no, that has a screen as well. What am I doing? I'm so used to my machines, my DIY machines, not having screens and having to use a web interface. So having one of these is so nice. Having a nice responsive one is great too. The bed is nice and hot at 60 degrees, so let's just start leveling. It is going around and is going to be doing an 11 by 11 probing grid, so let's get a time lapse of that. Now we just have to get the Z offset spot on, and then we're good to get printing. That feels perfect. It's now time to add the filament. There we go. Our first extrusion. Wow, I almost forgot to install this nozzle upgrade I bought in advance. This is a 0.6mm nozzle, whereas the installed one is a 0.4mm nozzle. This will give us even faster print times. It's also a hardened steel nozzle, so it'll have no problems with the few hundred hours we're going to be putting on this machine. A bit tricky, but we got there in the end. Now let's readjust the Z offset, making sure everything is all good. Then print the first benchy. First extrusion with the new 0.6mm nozzle. Let's load up some prints. We have the option between the 100% scale benchy and the 600% scale one. Confirm. It's starting. Oh, it's already extruding. Oh, is that a perfect first layer? No way. It doesn't take much to impress me, but a perfect first layer with minimal adjustments. Yeah, that's pretty pleasing. Absolutely amazing. It was quite surprising since I usually have issues with first layers at least once, but even without adjusting the 6 leveling knobs on this giant plate, it just worked first try. Not bad. It's actually going pretty fast. This is just with the default settings that they are provided on Orca Slicer, so that's pretty neat. Well, we got a successful print. First try, it doesn't look perfect. There's a bit of stringing and the layers look a little bit odd. And now I think we should grab the shiny gold filament and get to printing the big one. And because this is our first big print, I am going to use the filament runout sensor just to be safe. 600% scale benchy. Of course it looks completely normal there. Let's start. We'll take a look at the first layer and then I'll see you guys tomorrow. This is going to be a huge first layer. Now the reason I'm not doing a full plate size benchy is quite simply because I want this all to fit within one spool. If I had some 3 kilogram spools, maybe I'd give it a go, but yeah, this is already going to be huge. That brought day 1 to a successful close, and thankfully there were no major issues aside from me just being clumsy, among other things. Hopefully day 2 follows suit. It is now the morning of day 2, and luckily nothing has failed. It was a bit loud overnight, there are some issues with the layers, I don't know what it is specifically, but yeah, it hasn't failed. Looks like we have another 14 hours to go though, so looks like this will be the rest of day 2. I'll check back when there's something interesting. Just checking in again, it's been about 7 hours since I last stopped by. The print's going a bit slower than expected, but that's okay. We are 20 hours in. Yeah, that's fine. Looks crazy. Technically speaking, most of day 2 went as expected. Most of it. Oh, this is really unfortunate. I wasn't expecting this to happen with the first print, but we've had a layer shift right at the end. Oh, that's... I have to stop it. That's such a shame. Well, we should be able to repair it if we print the remaining layers. I haven't done that before, I will look into it. Why did that happen though? Well, I'm still not entirely sure. I think it was my infill settings, with the plastic printing too fast, not bonding properly to the previous layer, and then getting caught on the nozzle. Alright, let's try and... Oh, that's a nice sound. Not super heavy, but it's decently heavy. Well, that looks about right. I did have to eyeball it. I tried using ChatGPT to figure out the heights. Maybe I should have watched the tutorial. I'm just gonna go for it. I leave for 5 minutes and it's already doing a perfect first layer. A good, reliable first layer is one of the best things that a machine can have. Alrighty, those took just under an hour. And we should be able to glue them on nicely and make the whole thing look seamless. Okay, I've opened up my super glue, although I had to cut off the top of it. Super glue is always such a mess to use. Okay, let's just layer a bunch on there. Let's stick this on here, and then like that. And now I'm gonna find some weights to put on there. That does not look as good as I hoped. It looks great from a distance, but from a distance. I used the soldering iron to patch it together. I do have a 3D pen, and we do have leftover filament. The only issue is, I don't know where the cord is for the 3D pen. If I find it later, I'll certainly use it. It's been like 3 weeks since I said that, and I still haven't found it. To be fair, I also didn't look for it, but you didn't hear that from me. I will get some more shots of this later with all of the final prints, but for now, I would very much like to remove that filament, grab the yellow filament, and start up our next big print over from day 2 to day 3. I'm pretty impressed. Nearly a whole spool gone in one go. That's maybe a first, actually. This next print will be my largest ever print. Pretty excited about that. 2000% scale. That took a second to load. So why am I doing this? Well, because one of the first things I ever printed was a Lego brick. This is going to be a bed adhesion test, a longevity test, a bunch of tests, all in one. See you guys tomorrow. Before we continue, there is a 30-second ad for PCBWay. This is metal 3D printed aluminium using a technology called SLM, and this is laser cut carbon fiber and aluminium, and this is clear SLA resin 3D printing. It's quite the variety, and we're just warming up. PCBWay offers these services and a lot more at competitive prices with fast shipping and a huge variety of materials, machines and offerings to best suit your needs. They've been integral for several of my past projects and will be again moving forward. So if you need prototyping capabilities that are no short of incredible, then it's worth popping over to their site for a free quote on your parts to get your next journey started ASAP. Thank you, PCBWay. Good morning. It is now day 3. Let's take a look at the print actually, after I turn on some lights. Oh, awesome. Okay, it's still going well. I was decently worried last night about this, but I mean, once the first layer went down, it all seemed pretty good. I did have it on 30% speed though, so I'm going to crank that back up to maybe 50%, and I'll see you guys in a long time. Hey team, just shy of midday on day 3. We are 15 hours in, and you might be able to spot there's a bit of a support missing. It just broke off like 5 minutes ago. Whole print is going strong, but I'm going to keep a close eye on it. What I'm hoping is that the sheer density of the supports will mean that any filament that misses will just get caught and not affect anything. 5 or 6 more supports have failed, maybe even more, so I'm hoping it starts doing the underlayers soon, or whatever they're called. So if you look right there, 23.79, that's the current height of the model, but the main flat part that I'm waiting for kicks in around 31.36. So another 50% more to go. Right, so it looks like I'll check back with you guys in 8 or 9 hours. I'm sure I could make it print much faster, but I don't want to risk anything at all in this video. Now, although this is quite annoying, following a glass half full approach, I know how to fix this for next time so we don't have the same issue. Yeah. Ouch, what a terrible sound. Just keep holding on, mate. 6 more millimeters and we'll be good. Come on, you got this. If I'm correct, we're at 31.08 millimeters tall. The next layer is going to be going flat across everything. Hopefully it's smooth sailing after that. Moment of truth. I have really high hopes that we're going to be okay. It's like 8:30 p.m. This is really reassuring before bed. Not that I'm going to bed at 8:30 p.m. Alright, good morning. It is just shy of 8 a.m. on day, and the print made it through the night. It's doing the layer above the infill now. Awesome. I was a little bit worried, but I had really high hopes after that other layer went down last night. That is easily the longest 3D print I've ever done, and it's not even finished yet. We should have just enough filament left. I have really, really high hopes. Almost 40 hours in. 99% done. It's working on the top layers now. The only issue is we are almost out of filament. I don't really want to grab a new spool for like 1 or 2 layers, but yeah. Well, luckily, we do have a spare box. There is next to no filament left in there. Come on, we got this. No, that's not gonna make it. Okay, there is enough for this. If this is it, there's no way. Ah! Unfortunate. Let's see how good the pause function is. And there we go. 40 hours and 17 minutes. That's crazy. All right, this is gonna be good. Oh, wow. Time for some cleanup. We didn't have these failed prints at the start. This could have all been done within one spool, but this is just how it went. So it's been about 10 minutes, where I'd say 80% there, and that is good enough for me. You know, it's actually kind of funny. I was worried I wouldn't be able to find too many uses for this yellow filament, but this is actually perfect. Now, in terms of maintenance, I do have to retighten the belts a little bit, and the V-wheels are starting to show signs of wear. I knew this would be a factor, but luckily it's not too big of a deal since I do have replacements on hand, and I didn't want to spend that much money on upgrades when it was just meant to be a fun printing video, which it still is. Hopefully. Right, guys? I really hope so. There you can see the dust. It is slowly accumulating. Yeah. All right, and here's the other factor. This is basically a full box, well, not completely full, but yeah, of waste. So that's something I'm going to tally up at the end. And since I'm not going to print anything else today, that wraps up day. We'll be getting up nice and early for day. But yeah, we've got our small benchy, our big benchy, and our huge Lego brick. For now, looking good. With two big prints having turned out successful, I wanted to try something a bit more detailed, as well as making a gift that takes advantage of the colour assortment that I had on hand. Alright, good morning, it is day, and I know exactly what I want to print, which is this DAX kit card style model. It would be a gift for a friend of mine, so I'm just wondering what filament to use, and I think I've got it sorted. We've got some black filament here, sweet. And then here's the thing, these are all refill spools of PLA. Well, what does this mean? It means in comparison to a regular spool, it is a bit smaller, but that's because it's missing the actual spool part. Anycubic black PLA. But in comparison, this does not come with a spool. It's just the filament, which is quite economical. There is one more spool I want to grab, which is this silver. Let's actually get the filaments drying now. It's nice because we can actually dry all three filaments at the same time super easily. And there we go. I really like this thing. Now, while those are drying, let's find a spool model and print it. Oh, I forgot to copy the model onto the... Oh. All right, there it is. Let's see if we can get it all done today. This is actually fantastic, and I'll explain why. A week ago, there would only be one printer that I would trust with something this torturing of a print. But now, there are two of them. Good morning. These finished up last night. Lovely. Let's remove the supports and see if they work. But because we do have like 10 hours in the day left, I'm going to print the longer parts rather than the smaller ones using these. But yeah, we will get to using the refill spool. I just have to remove some of the support material and then we can test if this actually is functional. Quality-wise, I'd say these are maybe 6 out of 10. But the question is, do they function? Oh, I did it! Oh, that's so cool! We have a spool! Wait, why am I so hyped about that? That's actually awesome. So I twist it to uninstall it, grab the spool. We can install these RFID tags onto the spool and use these with Anycubic 3D printers to help them recognize the filament. Just like that. And then we take them off when we are switching out the spools. And we're good to go. Alrighty, let's grab the grey filament and print out the grey parts, since that's the longest one. I do reckon if this one is quick and goes well, we could do another print today. 2 birds, 1 day. Alrighty, that took 6 hours, 8 minutes apparently. Does not get old. Love that sound. Says there it would take just under 4 hours. There's still enough time in the day to do that. Let's grab the red filament. Sweet, so we'll be able to knock out 2 prints today. I wasn't expecting this, but we've had our first really big failure that we can't salvage. There's a layer shift in this print. Unfortunately, that means we have to stop it and try again. Yeah, that's odd. It was a really small one too, but unfortunately, we can't use this part. That's gonna up the waste counter quite a bit. That's just how it goes, and I'm lucky it wasn't on a super big part as well. This was only like 100 grams of filament. While still a setback, we still had plenty of time, filament, and most importantly, a working machine. Nice, that seemed to take not too long. Although I did have to leave the house, so I didn't get to start the next print as quick as I'd like. All right, let's just get to the next one right away. Let's grab the black filament. I don't think I've had black filament in a very long time, always red. 5 hours, 13 minutes. That should complete today. Well, it was doing pretty good up until now, but yeah, this first layer on this print just didn't go perfectly. I think that's my fault. I also need to clean the bed. But yeah, a bit too late to continue trying today. Let's try again tomorrow morning. On day 9 already? Good morning once again, although it's almost not morning. And this is attempt 4 or 5 of this part. I don't know what's going on. It's not working very well. I think I will deep clean the bed properly and give it another go. Hey, that's going well so far. There should be time to print something fun later tonight as well. Oh, it failed. I was 1 second away from pausing it. I had the pause menu up and it said, hey, do you want to confirm the pause? And then it gets caught on the support and skips and stalls. Not to mention I lost a bearing stack for another project and lost hours from that. Okay, there's still time for one more go. I'm gonna give it one more go. Sweet, this looks like it's gonna finish just nicely. It's been a long day, but we got there in the end. I will assemble all the pieces tomorrow. Alrighty, very nice. That turned out alright. Can I get it off the plate with one hand? I'll leave that for tomorrow. Alright, good morning. It is a new day. I don't know what day it is. Editor, please tell me what day it is. There we go. We've almost filled up 2 waste boxes now. That's quite something actually. That's like several months of printing for me usually. This is very interesting. Now it's just time to remove all the support material from this. This matte black finish with the Anycubic black PLA, I very much like it. Now, I'm not actually sure if this thing can stay assembled at this scale. I don't think it's meant to be scaled up this big, but it all does fit. That's awesome. From a visual standpoint, this thing looks super cool. I love the contrast with the gray, red, and black. I wish I could have had like a teal, cyan, blue, since that's what Brent has. Red looks fantastic either way. And it was his birthday recently, so this will be a nice little gift. Pretty big though. Since I'm out of super glue, hot glue it is. Just for a light connection, I'm not gonna do anything crazy. So he can take it apart if he wants. Now let's print out the instructions in nice paper. Oh, I think we're out of ink. That isn't... 2D printers, or regular ones, are the bane of my existence. I had a paid job years ago to fix one, and it's something I'll never do again. I can't stand those things, and don't even get me started on the ones I had at school. They were way more double-edged than a literal sword, and I'm not even sure how that's possible. Anyways. Okay, I've grabbed some bubble wrap. This should be enough to wrap up everything nicely, and then we can find a nice cardboard box as well, and get this shipped off. And with a nice box, we can call it. Oh, right, this thing. I'll just put a little bit of tape there to secure it. Yeah. Well, it should be pretty simple in it. We just take this and it should, oh, it fits perfectly. Oh, lovely. I will check back with you guys when he has the package. I'll get him to get some footage of that. I think he is going to love it. I'm so excited.
This is a gift from my good friend Tommy Houghton. Don't know what it is. He makes all kinds of crazy stuff. Thanks for the present, Tommy. Let's see what we got here. He knows I like motorbikes. Honda ST70. Looks like there's some instructions. I told you he built some crazy stuff. He's probably built a whole motorbike. Damn! Probably have to get your help, Tommy, to get this thing going, but I have no idea how to build it, but that is cool. Thanks, Tommy.
To keep on being productive, I've got a gauntlet print I want to do. Well, a gauntlet challenge, not an actual gauntlet. We need a perfectly level bed for this. And we do. Check out this image. And we also need a perfectly clean bed. Let's grab the yellow filament. This is the elegoo one. It is midday currently, and it should be around 2 a.m., 4 a.m. when this print finishes. That took ages to load. Now this is going to be a gauntlet. That's for sure. A torture test. The thing with chainmail is if one segment fails, it can put the whole print at risk of failing. I find it's pretty rare for a machine to pull through. However, this is the painful part. Oh, that wasn't so bad. Usually they go everywhere. Actually quite satisfying. Attempt number 2. That is mesmerizing. Absolutely love it. Just hope that it goes well. So we're almost 6 hours in, and unfortunately the corner has failed. Everywhere else is looking fine, so that hurts. I guess we'll start printing something else tomorrow. Alrighty, I know exactly. Shoot, that's made a lot more of a mess than I thought. I know exactly what I want to do today, and that is print out some of the comical stuff. It's gonna be fun. Let's move on. Next up, white. I haven't had this filament color in I think 5 years. Yep, well, looks as expected. Into the dryer it goes. And because I want this next print to look like ceramic, that is exactly why I've chosen this lovely white filament from Anycubic. All planned ahead. No comment. Just a heads up that I've not had a single like Z offset issue where the nozzle has plowed into the bed at all on this machine. Absolute win. This is looking as ridiculous as I was hoping. Now there is quite a bit of Z-wobble, Z-banding, you can see there. That's more than fine by me. It won't be visible. I'm printing this for photography and I can make sure that's not seen. This is absolutely hilarious. There we go. Can we hold it by the handle? It's a tad bit too small. That is hilarious. I would never have a cup of tea without my trusty spoon to make sure everything is well mixed. So printing out that companion item was exactly what I wanted to do next. Oh my, it looks absolutely perfect. Oh, still stuck to the, oh, no, it's not. I don't want to break it just yet. Now, as expected, it's not a perfect fit. I will need some glue. I did use up all of my super glue. From a distance, this will look amazing. By using the soldering iron, I was able to sort of weld the pieces together. And of course, from a distance, it'll look indistinguishable. And I can always retouch that. But yeah, this is meant to be a photography prop, and I think it's amazing. Where's the mug? Let me compare it with the mug. Here is the mug. And if we install it, oh, it's perfect. And for the rest of the day, I'll be printing out another one of these spools. Where is it? For this guy right here. But this is going to be for some of the gray filaments because we're going to need a lot of it. A lot of gray filament. These are all done now. I guess we'll get the gray tomorrow and start with the really big prints. Before we move on, it would only be fair to try and get some photos of the mug and I, so that's what I did. I actually AI generated a reference image a while back that I quite like and even ordered a watch to help match it, although I still don't have the suitable clothes nor location, but that's fine for a prototype. Having the ability to make props to turn into photos is something I'm quite excited about, especially in one go rather than multiple pieces. The only limit really is imagination and me, since I think I'm alright on filament for now. Alright, good morning team. We have the spool there. And we have the files for, I'm just gonna go straight to the big project that I've been wanting to do and I'm so hyped. So, I've done some checking and this silver filament, here, let me compare it. Anycubic texture grey. Now here's why this is important. And I asked them for 2 spools of this. You may notice that this is why we've printed one of these extra spool holders. This is darker than this, and this is shiny. So this will be the blade tip of the sword, the blade edge, and this will be the actual point of the sword, the big part of the sword, the blade. And this is why I have 2 spools. Oh, I'm so excited. I'm so excited. And my filament shelf has never been this stacked. Absolutely amazing. That is so fun to see. Print, SDA1, edge, 14 hours and 49 minutes, 700 grams of filament. Are we ready? Go. Oh, I missed. Check out how much filament we used. Quite a bit. This sword is going to weigh several kilos. Oh, what a lovely sound. That does not get old. Right, let's start up the next batch of prints after we do some maintenance. First up, the belts could do with a little bit of tensioning. They are a bit looser than before. Keyword there, a little bit of tensioning. Yep, that could do with a bit as well. Not much though, it's pretty good. The real issue are the V-wheels. I don't know if I need to replace them, but I think I will at least tighten them. Yeah, shakes a little bit. I might have found an issue. These screws are actually really loose. I need to tighten them a lot. See, look at this one over here. I can spin it by hand. It wobbles quite a bit. That's not a secure connection. I'm excited to see how the improvements in print quality will be. Let's get to it. We will need to grab some of the grey filament though. Hey, these actually look really good. I think that's the matte filament combined with tightening up some of the parts on the machine. That's really neat. Yeah. Better than before. And our haul of parts is getting bigger. Let's grab our first spool of texture grey. And that's why we printed out this extra spool a day ago, or whenever I printed it. I've already forgotten. Alrighty, those finished last night. It is now a new dawn, and it's now time to start printing out the big parts of the blade. I am excited. I'm guessing this will be a 2-day print though, since I will have to slow it down. And this, my friends, is contrast. For anyone curious, I usually do re-level the bed after every major print, but because this is straight after, same filament, same a lot, I see no need. The first batch of the blades are done. It took 27 hours. So, and what's very interesting is you can see here when I slowed the machine down for the night and when I sped it back up again the following morning. Just cosmetic stuff, and besides, the photos of this thing are going to be from far away. Very interesting though. Now I do need to restock this spool with a different one, so I'm going to have to wrap up this filament so that it doesn't go anywhere. Again, there's a little bit of filament remaining. It's like 8 PM currently, I think. And we have all the parts, so... always that last one. We are looking pretty set now. Just one last part. 27 hours and 10 minutes. These could all be done faster, but the issue is I keep doing the wrong settings. Now the thing is, I don't have any brown filament for the handle. I do have shiny pink gold and I do have orange, but I also have copper spray paint. So I think we shouldn't worry about what color we choose. Just go for it and print the handles. Change of plans actually. I'm not gonna go with yellow because that is a strong color. I'm gonna go with white because it's new. Never had so much filament that's happened before. Anyway, I'm gonna go with it because it is a neutral color and I can easily spray paint it if I don't like how it works with the other colors. Looks like this final print will be ready overnight. Christmas tomorrow morning. Print finished 8 hours, 34 minutes. And it printed overnight, nice and fast. And I believe that's everything for our sword. So this is it, all of the parts for the sword. It is almost surreal. Well, we are missing one singular item, which is this rather small steel rod. That's gonna be the support for the handle, going into the handle of the thingy. And yeah, we're gonna have to cut that to length and assemble it. I've ordered some glue. I don't know if we need glue, but I'm gonna use that. Next order of business, removing all of the supports from these parts and then seeing how much waste we have. Well, let's tally that up at the end. The adhesive, well, is this even adhesive? I don't know. I'm gonna use this when I'm assembling the parts and see if it makes a difference. This means that it'll be ready tomorrow once it's cured, so let's get to work with removing all of the supports. That's quite a bit of waste actually, although we'll weigh it and see how much we actually have. Unfortunately, I didn't get around to assembly yesterday, but today we're gonna go absolutely for it. Question is, where to begin?
After getting the idea to print the sword months ago, it was quite surreal that we were now right at the front lines, beginning the assembly. Let's hope I don't mess it up somehow.
I think we'll need the handle pieces first. Let's separate those. So the handle is actually pretty easy to assemble. It's just these pins that all align like that, and then we end up with a nice, strong, I mean, this thing feels solid because it's 100% infill. So we do need to install this rod that I also need to cut. Honestly, I don't even think we need the glue with how tight fitting these are. I mean, I have to actually force them in, which is good because that means they will stay. Got my M8 nuts. I only ordered 2. Never ordered M8 hardware before. There we go. I need to install this first blade here. Well, it's a bit trickier. Okay, I knew I would forget something. We actually need 2 of these, only have 1. So I'll print that off right now. Well, looks like this will take just a little bit and I can come back to it after my lunch break and after we cut the rest of the handle. That part is all nice and done. Really pays to read the fine print, doesn't it? Just gonna cut like this, but I'm also gonna cut the cameras. Surely I can bend that off now. Yeah, goodbye. It's looking good so far. It still fits in frame, which is nice, but it won't for long. What is this, the pommel? I don't know. What is this called? Yeah. Oh, it's such a satisfying fit. We're already making so much progress, but there are so many more pieces left for us to install. I am loving this. This is so cool. I'm pleased to say it's already as long as the table. That's mad. This is the final piece going on and we're done. It's so big that I can't fit it in frame. Right, I can try to. Yeah, I can. And it's bigger than the table. I mean, it's a few centimeters shorter than me, so that's crazy. Let's get some photos. And then I want to apply that sealant stuff.
I successfully applied the sealant, making the sword a bit more wieldable. So let's grab some media of this insane print.
Well, that was a nice quick print. Oh, I forgot to plug in the microphone. 6 hours and 4 minutes. Not bad at all.
After those prints for the Carvera, I wanted to give the gauntlet of printing chainmail a shot at redemption. I was very determined. I started up the print in the afternoon, and on the morning of day 21...
Wow, I had my doubts, but it successfully printed overnight. It took 19 hours, just shy of 20 hours. Let's peel it off the plate. Oh, what a sound. Have to be very careful, actually. Oh, get ready. Oh, check that out! I have really high hopes. Let's just print another one and see if it works.
And now for some contrast.
Really unfortunate, just one of them failed over here, so I'm gonna have to cancel the whole lot. But that's all right, it happens. What I'm gonna do is actually apply some glue and some alcohol, clean the bed, and give it one more go. Well, that's 2 for 2. This one finished up just in the morning, 20 hours, yep. Oh yeah, here comes the fun part of trying to remove it. That does not get old. Looks like we still have enough filament for another one, so let's go straight for it. Alrighty, good morning. Print finished up not too long ago. Now it did fail a teeny tiny bit. We can actually reprint that link, but now comes the fun part. Oh, so those are the first 2, and now we've got our third. Time for one more. This is really something. I was gonna work late tonight, and if I didn't, I wouldn't have known that the filament was run out because I wasn't using the sensor. But yeah, let's pause that and swap it out. Good timing. Well, that is just brilliant. 4 for 4, and we almost didn't complete too. I must admit, I was a tiny bit worried, but mostly confident. Now let's get it off the plate. And on goes number 4. Time to stitch them together later. I've got another big print I want to do for the Carvera Air. Well, it's not a super big print, so I'm actually gonna use this yellow filament and then I'm gonna spray paint it to be copper colored. It's gonna look really nice. And the best part is, it should be all done today. I know it's a little thing, but I recorded that clip 2 minutes ago and we're already printing. This thing would still be calibrating. I love it, it's super reliable, but it's nice to have something fast, even though it's huge.
Not sure what I was on about there. I hope it makes sense though.
I am very excited to see the durability at the end of the month, that's for sure. Sweet, that finished within the time estimate today. So it looks like there'll be time tomorrow to do quite a few other prints. Yeah, let's see what we can get up to. Still got a little bit of time left.
Of all possible outcomes, what happens next was really the last thing I expected to happen.
Oh, this is a big file, it's taken quite a while to load. There we go, 39 hours, shoot. Well, this is the last thing I expected to happen. I heard a strange noise and I come back to this. Right, okay, logical thinking time. Well, we unfortunately can't continue. I am out of belts, and of course we can't continue this print. So I think that means we have to wrap things up a little bit early. Yeah. So the thing is, I do have replacement belts. I absolutely do, but not enough left. I've only got a tiny bit left. The problem is they're not long enough. So what an odd position to be in. Well, let's count our wins. Oh, this is heavy. Oh, this would have been so cool. Might have to keep it as a trophy once I clean it up. It's quite interesting because I was worried about what would happen if the tolerances for the internal bits wouldn't be good enough, because then this whole thing would be junk. And now it is. But that's just how it goes sometimes. So, what day is it? Mr. Editor, what day is it? Oh, so we got most of the way there. That's good. And I hope I can compensate for someone else and give them some good luck instead. Because ultimately, this isn't too bad. Better me than someone else.
Next up, total waste count, followed by print hours and filament used.
Well, let's not waste any time and start compiling. Oh, let's turn this on. 0 out, 0. I'm not gonna look, but I'm giving it an estimate of, I think, 800 grams when we're done. Oh, we're already at 680. Never mind. Okay, this is more than I thought. This thing over here. Wow, 1.55 kilos. So I'm assuming, I did accidentally chuck out a few bits over the thing, so let's just round that up to 1.6 kilos. 1.5 spools of filament, guys. Wow. Time to put all this together. Okay, it's been 20 minutes. I don't even know what to say. If I bring the camera a bit closer, it covers the whole thing. Oh my. What do I even do with this much chainmail? There's so much of it. It's honestly, I could make a blanket out of this. I'm not even kidding. What have I done?
This is now the outro. Thank you very much for watching, I hope you enjoyed, and please leave any questions in the comments and I'll do my best to get to you as soon as I can. I think this was a better video structure than simply doing a review of this machine, and I ultimately think that's better since I could put more hours onto it and use it on a real scenario rather than like a forced one. The machine performed as good as I hoped, and while I was genuinely a bit concerned at first after watching some early reviews of it, I had no such issues and thoroughly enjoyed using it, which I'm very happy to say. I actually had less issues with it than the Creality High, but both are some of my favorite machines. Although it helps I have a shelf filled with printers that don't properly work. I know there'll be some comments about the waste, and that's completely valid. I'm looking into some gear to melt down my scraps into flat bars and stock, to later machine on the Carvera Air. No promises if there's a recycling themed video, as my schedule has been locked in for months longer than I'd like. I was actually supposed to make this video in January. To finalize, if you made it this far, please let me know so I can personally thank you. And as always, thank you so much for watching, and hopefully, I'll see you again soon.